Hey, Beth.
Hi.
Hello. Hey, everyone. I am so excited to introduce you to my friend Beth Matchie, and some of you may know her personally. Some of you may have seen her before on some lives or in groups. Beth has been such an near and dear friend and an awesome part of my world, just in so many different ways. And Beth and I got introduced, what, 5 years, 6 years? Has it been that long?
Not six. Four.
4 years ago, specifically because of business. And we were in the same industry together, and that really drew us together. We were introduced to a mutual coach and friend, and our paths just aligned, our focus and our drive, and just the way that we want to do our lives and our businesses and marriages and all the stuff. We're just are in alignment with each other. And so we have gotten to do just different aspects of life together, which has been really cool. But in this last year, we got to really do life in a totally different way together through something called the Wic Collective, which is an exclusive group of women who are committed to a 3-month coaching process and really committed to stopping the crazy in their life. Women who are juggling so many different things and are exhausted from it and looking for strategies and tools and support and help and how to do life differently. And so I wanted to share Beth with you today because she has been so amazing and just so inspirational to me. And Beth, you have 4 little kids and you are kind of the quintessential mom who is juggling all the things. Like, tell us how old your children are. Tell us a little bit about what you do, and even just like you just took on a new position right now. So tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, that aspect.
Sure. So living at the house right now, we have twin boys that just turned 6 last month. Another boy, Noah, who turned 4 last month. And then Selah, my little girl, turned 2 in May. So those are the 4 littles at home. Yep. And for the past 6 years, I've been working from home, sales business with that on my own. I also coach CrossFit. And
can't tell.
And what?
If you can't tell, give us a little.
Yeah.
She just won 2nd place this weekend too in a competition. Her and her team, guys, like, she is killer. She's amazing. Yeah. She coached me when she was at my house, and I was like, oh, you need to move near me. You're amazing.
Well, then we got to switch roles the next day, which is awesome.
Personal growth coach, and then we switched, and she was like kicking my butt, fitness. It was awesome.
Yeah, so cool. And then I just accepted a coaching position for girls varsity basketball. We've been doing some stuff this summer, or the past month mainly, and then we'll go full force into November, which I'm excited about because last time I've coached, I didn't have a lot of the personal development, all the skill leadership work I've been doing since I stopped teaching and coaching. So to bring that back in with the fitness basketball stuff that's what I'm most excited about.
That is exciting. It's like you do that work and you become such a different person. So it's like you get a whole new lease on life on something that you love so much. You just show up so different to it. So that's going to be awesome. So Beth, we've been in the middle of a 4-day challenge, and some of the women watching this will have been a part of that challenge with us. Some people watching this maybe didn't. And this 4-day challenge was really around how to help us regain some balance in our life, how to get back some of our time, looking at specifically what are the things that are wasting our time, energy, and resources. And we really went about it in a pretty unconventional way. I would say a little unconventional. Most people would think, oh, they hear time and balance, and we're going to look at planners and systems and all the stuff.
Color coding.
What'd you say? No, you know me.
Color coding, underlining, all the things.
All those things. But what we did was we really worked through something called the Whit Life method, the whatever it takes life method. And we broke down each one of those letters, the L, the I, the F, and the E, and really looked at how we could get to the end, which was what today was at, which is executing new strategies and how we can shift being these women who just do it all and be it all for everybody all the time, to the point of exhaustion in our own life, to the point of losing ourselves to the roles we play and all the things that we do. And to the point of like just really kind of living lives that we're not really satisfied with. We're not really happy. And I would love for you to tell us a little bit about maybe where you were when you were first introduced to the Whit Life, as well as just how this week, this challenge, and this whole topic of learning how to execute new strategies, what's that done for you and meant to you?
Yeah, well, I could probably talk on that for quite a while. So I'll try and do the shortened version. I actually have had the opportunity to do it twice. So I'll talk about the first time and then kind of the intermediate time interim between the first and the second, because there was some changes. The first time, you said this in your video and it really like just hit me and made me go back. Sad and alone and resentment. I would say those would be like the top 3 words I would have used to describe myself and what would have been last November.
Yeah. A year. Oh, yeah. Just a year.
Right. I mean, the exhaustion I had pretty much gotten used to. Like that's been the last 6 years of my life. So that was just like kind of, used to that. But I had really come to a point. And yes, we were in the middle of 2020. And so I think so much caused people to go into survival mode or fight or flight. So maybe that was part of it, but I think there were other factors. And I was really at a point where I just felt very alone, unhappy. Many nights I was just crying myself to sleep, but not really sure why. And then, harboring a lot of resentment, but maybe I didn't realize the resentment part until we started going through Whit. I remember one week specifically that really hit me like a brick wall. And then
a good
after
that, a good one.
It was a good.
Well, so, let me just say too, Beth, for you, somebody that, you're this CrossFit coach, you're strong, you're capable. I've seen you do pull-ups. I mean, you guys, like she is so strong. And I think do you think that some of that contributes to why you feel almost so alone at times is because the way that people see you and perceive you, and it's not untrue. Like you are so strong, not just physically, but like to have 4 kids and like 3-4 years. 4 years, what is that? To do all the things that you're doing, you're perceived as so strong, so capable. So does that contribute to that feeling of aloneness and like, oh no, I can't really say I'm feeling these things?
It definitely did. Not only from the physical aspect, but even emotionally, I did not show a lot of emotion except to like an exclusive small group that probably got it by default. Like I just couldn't code it or cover it anymore. So I knew that was kind of the face I had to people, was that strong factor. And I was definitely fearful of letting people see the crack or what was really going on, or just the perception like she's weak, or just fearful of what they would think. Like I'm not who they thought I was.
Which would be what? Like having it all together?
Like I had it all together, because people would say that. And then you start feeling like you have to hold up to that. And I don't want to put anyone down for like, if someone has said that, like, because at the time it's a compliment, or they mean it as a compliment. I knew that, but there was a lot going on under the surface that I was afraid to let be known.
Yeah, it's interesting how we mean things like that as compliments. Like, you seem like you have the perfect life, or you have it all together, or, oh my gosh, I could never be like you. You're so good at everything. And then it's like, it puts on us as women, like, okay, I need to keep being that way. I can't ever let somebody know I don't have it together, or I don't have the perfect life. And I can totally relate to that. I absolutely felt so many of the same things. And I think that's why we stay in silence for so long and don't grow out of the places where we feel really, really stuck, because we've had that projected to us. So we have to keep that image up. So yeah. So when we looked at executing new strategies, really talking through that today, what are some of the new, do you want to talk about kind of where you're at now with some of the new things that have come out of being a part of the Whit Life community now for a year, going through the spring and last fall, the Wic Collective exclusive group of women? Like, what was, really getting some real coaching around this? Like, what did that do for you?
I was just thinking about this the other day, and I was talking about it with a friend too. And it's like, I was like, what all changed? Because I feel totally different. I feel more stable. I feel steady. I'm a different person. And did that much change life factor? Like, well, no, I've had all 4 of my kids home now all summer. My husband's working more than he was again. So there's not too much that has changed outside of me going through this program and just utilizing different tools. And you know, some of the key things that I can constantly ask myself on a daily basis when those triggers come up, or the unexpected things that would have previously thrown me into like a huge spiral downward, or a meltdown, or like just internal turmoil. Like you talked about the time for hours or even days that this would just like totally throw me off track. That's, I mean, sometimes, but not nearly that. And two of the key things we talked about is I can ask myself, what else could be true in this situation? That's like, I love that one. And what is mine to own in this? And those two, there's many more, but I would say those two for sure lately have changed so much. Just me being able to utilize those, and something happens and I can immediately stop the downward spiral and just evaluate. And what do I need? That was probably the third one. Like, what do I really need? What's coming out of here? And I think last night, actually, I was thinking, like, I've had toddlers for like 6 years. And when our toddlers are having meltdowns and tantrums, when we're in our good parenting modes, we're like, okay, what is behind this? Like, what does this child really need right now? Where these are the emotions coming out. And I'm trying to figure that out constantly as a parent, but how often was I really trying to figure it out for myself for many years? Not a lot. Like, I would realize I'm acting this way and these things were coming out sideways, but I really didn't take time to dive into it for myself.
That's such a great point, Beth. I think for a lot of women, we almost feel guilty. Like, we're so used to meeting and tending. You make a great point. We tend to the needs of everybody else. And we're so intuitive and perceptive, even like most of us can like read somebody else's face and know that there's a need there or something's off. And we just have that intuition that we talk about. And yet with ourselves, like when you say, like, what do you need? Most of us are like, I don't know. That was like such a common answer. Like, even at the beginning of the Wic Collective, women are like, I don't know. Like, we just,
I could not have answered it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and then we're looking constantly externally to try to fix what's going on internally, right? We're constantly looking outside of us to our spouse. Like, if we can make him be a certain way, if we can get our kids to behave, if we can get our friends to like us more, like if we get our business to this certain rank or this certain point financially, maybe this thing will go away. And so for you, what I hear you saying is life has actually in some ways gotten harder. Like, life didn't change. It just like, okay, you did this 3-month group coaching program and you've done it twice. And all of a sudden life was perfect on the other side of it. That's just a bunch of baloney, right? It's like life got harder, like more things shift and life changes. And for those that are wondering, like, what is the Whit life all about? And what is this Wic Collective about? It is about helping you learn how to navigate the hard of life and the hustle of life and all the things that life's going to throw your way, but in a healthy way. So you heard Beth talk about, like, she was already dealing with life before, but the way she was showing up to life was bringing one result. And that result, how would you describe that result? The way you were showing up to life before, like, if you could summarize, like, what was that result that you were constantly getting?
More sadness and frustration, because it was only a matter of time before I would just either blow up or want to run into a closet and cry. It was just a matter of how far in the day would we get before I reached that point. And or I would be trying to, you brought into the control and the manipulation when we're feeling sad and alone. What do we go to for a coping mechanism? Okay, well, let me try and manipulate this situation so it will give me the result I want. And then there's that like attachment to really wanting that result. And then we don't get the result we want. And then it's just like waterfall.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the crazy cycle, right?
Yes.
So yes. And so the result that we really want to get to is freedom. We want to get to the place of health and freedom and authentic connection with ourselves and with others on the other side of us, even in the midst of having your kids home for the summer, all summer long, even in the midst of your husband starting a brand new job a year ago. And it was this huge risk. It was a huge financial, like, oh no, what's happening? And yet he's grown this business, but he's had to put extra time and energy and effort, which leaves you with the kids more. It's like the crazy of life necessarily doesn't stop, but we can stop and calm the crazy in here. We can learn ways of being with our life that can stop the crazy. And so do you, at the end of this, like going through this the second time, do you feel more connected to yourself? Do you feel less crazy? Do you feel like you're not controlling as much around you?
Yes, I've learned myself and my default go-tos, the default patterns of behaviors I functioned in for like many, many years. And, you know, I'm definitely not perfect by any means. So I still fall into them, but I'm much more so recognize them now and can try and change that behavior for the better, which has been awesome to see. And just you're learning yourself all the time. Just like I learn myself in the gym, where can I stretch? What are my limits? All of that. It's kind of exercising a new muscle, like internal in life. Oh, sorry.
Yay! I want some of that. It's so stormy here. I'm like just like looking behind you and jealous at how beautiful it looks.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Insert gust.
Exactly.
It all was flowing. It was the Beyonce hair. It was like you had your moment,
Dramatic
moment of
effect.
fame. That's right. Dramatic effect.
Oh my God. What was I talking about? Oh, connection. So yes, connection to myself. But the other thing, and you also talked about this in the video, is the community. And, you know, having the other people in the group now that we're all wearing the same lens, I was thinking lifelines. Like I can call Lifeline, like, you speak Whit, let me talk to you. You will understand me. And we have this shared vocabulary of vernacular, knowing like we're in the hard and the stuck, but knowing also we know each other's goals and where we want to get out of, and we're both trying to utilize the same tools. So that has been huge because connection is such a core need of mine. I was just trying to get it met in so many of the wrong twisted ways before, and now it just feels so healthy and helpful and natural, and like that has been one of the biggest things going through it too. Is that connection with like-minded people.
Yeah, you talked at the beginning of this of just like a year ago feeling alone, feeling sad and alone.
I was missing having a best friend or just like any friends at that moment. And not that I didn't have them, but it was like true connection.
Yeah, and anybody bigger than this, you're like anybody out there. Larger than a tiny human. Yeah, I know so many moms can relate to that season of raising.
Oh no, you froze.
Uh-oh, can you hear me? Oh, we lost her. Hold on, you still there?
I am. Are you back?
Yep, it's the wind tunnel. Dramatic effect again. Yeah, I know so many moms can relate to what you're saying of just the loneliness, and that makes me laugh of just you speak Whit, and I love it. Okay, so let me give you if you're listening and you're listening to what Beth's talking about and you're resonating with any of it, let me tell you a couple places you can connect in. If you are feeling alone, if you are feeling crazy, you're not alone. And if you are feeling sometimes like you're juggling a lot, you're carrying a lot, and you don't know how to manage it all, do it all, let me tell you, you don't have to. You don't have to do it all. There are things that you can get to the place of release and surrender with, but it takes responsibly getting there. You can't just stop doing everything you're doing. You can't just stop being a mom or being a wife or being a business owner or whatever you're doing. But there are so many things in our life that are sucking our time and our energy that we don't realize. The fights that we're in with our spouse, the ways that we go sideways with our kids, the things that, just not having the friends and just that lack of connection and community, how it just causes us to lose energy to where we don't even love showing up for our life. If you have been listening to any of this and you're wondering where you can find this community, on Facebook, there is a free resource for you called the Whatever It Takes Life group. If you are watching this in this group, hello. If you're seeing this video somewhere on the internet outside of the group, then we welcome you in if this sounds like you. It is for women who are juggling it all, doing it all, that are looking for resources and tools to help them live their life in a healthy way and do the hustle and the hard healthy. So we also have a resource for you that right now it's open only for the next 2 weeks. It's called the Wic Collective. And this is the group that Beth was a part of. It is a intense 3-month group coaching program where you are going to get very specific help and support to break the crazy cycle, to stop control, and to really gain the freedom and the peace and the joy that you're longing for. And so if this is something that you want to have a conversation around, DM me. I would love to chat with you. DM Beth. She would love to let you know about some of her experience. I'm going to volunteer you that. Okay, she said absolutely. So you can send Beth Matchie a message as well. and we can share with you a little bit about what this looks like for you. And today is August 15th. So the doors on this will be closing. There are limited spots, so it'll close whenever it's filled, but the 28th will be the last day to register for this. And if you are somebody who takes fast action this week, actually by tonight, the end of tonight is when this ends, fast action, there is a discount on it. And I can let you know what that is, as well as it's a big discount if you want to know. And on the 18th, in a few days, there is also, I'm only offering this to 5 people because my time is so limited, but for 5 people who get started with the Wic Collective by this Wednesday, if you want to be one of those 5, I'm also throwing in an additional 3 personal one-on-one coaching sessions with me throughout the program. In addition to all the other coaching and support that you are going to be getting. You're going to be getting a lot, but this is over $1,000 value. And so I'm going to be pouring into you even more so with some very specific things you're walking through. So only for the
That's
first
huge,
time.
people. Just, I'll throw that in there. three personal coaching sessions is pretty huge.
Oh, well, thanks, Beth. And thank you so much for your time today. And I hope that you can enjoy that hot tub behind you and the beautiful weather for the rest of the day. I'm going to go throw on a raincoat and walk around my neighborhood.
Forget the raincoat. Just let the rain fall and run free.
That's right. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us and just your wisdom and your inspiration. I love you very much. And I'm so proud of you and just honored to know you.
Thanks, friend. Love you too.
Love you too. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.